What up, geometry students? Yo, about to do assignment 1.2, two videos one day. It's very similar to the first assignment, only we're talking about angles. Just understand creating angles, how line segments can bisect angles, or just kind of lay in the interior. Don't make any assumptions. Set up the angle, understand what parts you know, what parts you don't know, and work with that. So the first question, number one, and it says assignment 1-2, draw a diagram for each problem. Question number one is T is in the interior of angle RSU. Given M angle TSU, which means the measurement of angle TSU is 23 degrees and the measurement of angle RSU is 57 degrees, find the measurement of RST. Now, where students can go wrong with a question like this, as I get my thing up, is they just like assume, oh, we're going to add every time, or oh, we're going to subtract every time. But you really have to draw the picture to understand, like, what are you given? RSU is the angle, so RS is kind of what we call the vertex, U, and T is in the interior, which means TS creates this line segment. TSU is 23 degrees. RSU is 57. And you realize, oh, okay, RST plus TSU equals RSU. So RST must equal RSU minus TSU, or 57 minus 23. And 57 minus 23 is 34. Cool. This is the symbol for line or ray. This is actually the symbol for ray. This is question number two. Ray SP bisects angle RST. Ray SP bisects RST. Given RSP is 3x minus 2 degrees and PST is 9x minus 26 degrees, what is RST? Well, we realize we split this in half. We have RSP, which must be the same as PST. They must be equal to each other since we have the word bisects. Bisects means split equally, which means this RSP amount of 3x minus 2 must equal the PST amount of 9x minus 26. I can combine the angles, combine the x's, subtract maybe 3x from both sides. I have 3x minus 2 equals 9x minus 26. I can add 26. I can divide by 6, and I get x, which means RST being twice RSP. RSP is 3 times 4 minus 2, which is 3x minus 2, but x is 4. So that's going to be 10, which means PST is 10 and RST is 20 degrees. PQ is a straight line. Determine the size of angle PTS. We talked about in class the idea of a straight line being 180 degrees. This is an important concept. And if we know that we have these three angles, PTS, STR, that's 70, and RTQ, that's 30, that's this missing angle we can denote as x. X plus 70 plus 30 equals 180. And we can subtract the 100 and get that x is 80 degrees. The measure of an obtuse angle is 5x plus 45 degrees. What is the largest and smallest value for x? I think the idea is that obtuse angles start after 90. So we're looking for angles that are greater than 90 degrees. Well, if I can start with 5x plus 45 is greater than 90, that means 5x has to be greater than 45. That means x has to be greater than 9. So that's a good start. But we also want to consider that obtuse angles usually don't go past 180. So we're going to say that these angles have to be less than 180. And if we subtract, we can say 5x has to be less than 135. Divide by 5 and we get 20. That's not 5 goes into 13 twice. So it's 17. So I'm dividing and I'm getting that x has to be less than 17. 5 times 17. What am I doing? True, 27. That's what I meant, 27. There you go. That's how it works out. Okay, number 5, Q is in the interior of right angle PRS. So PRS is a right angle, so that's 90 degrees. PRS is a right angle. Q is in the interior. PRQ is 4 times as large as QRS. What is PRQ? So PRQ is 4 times as large as QRS. How can we help set up an equation to help us? Well, I'm going to label QRS as x and PRQ as 4x, and this makes sense. 4x is 4 times bigger than just x. So QRS is x, PRQ is 4x. That means that 4x plus x has to equal 90 degrees because it's a right angle. Or 5x equals 90. And what's 90 divided by 5? So 18. Right, because 5 goes into 9 once. 40 left. 8 times 5 is 40. Q is still in the interior of angle PRS. And I guess angle PRS is still 90 degrees. If PRQ is 10 less than 4 times as large as QRS, what is PRQ? If PRQ is 10 less than 4 times as large as QRS. Okay, I'm going to again label QRS as x. I'm going to say PRQ would be 4x minus 10. And that will give us 5x minus 10 has to equal 90 degrees. 5x equals 100 degrees, and we see x will be 20. Cool. The rest are very similar, so let's see if we can keep going. Number 7, if angle ABC is bisected by the line segment BD, ABD equals 4x plus 3, DBC is x plus 12. What is ABC? Since we see the word bisected, we know that the two angles have to equal each other. So that means 4x plus 3 equals x plus 12. I'm going to subtract x and subtract 3 to get 3x equals 9 or x equals 3. That means each of these angles is going to be 15 degrees, which means the total angle is 30 degrees. Angle ABC this is question number 8. Question number 8, angle ABC is bisected by line segment BD. If ABC is 5x, if ABC, that's the entire angle. ABC is 5x plus 20. DBC is x plus 1. What is ABC? So this is so important to draw a picture. They gave you the entire angle ABC. They gave you DBC, which means ABD has to be equivalent to that. All of a sudden, we now have an expression where x plus 1 plus x plus 1 equals 5x plus 20. So 2x plus 2 equals 5x plus 20. And I will subtract. That doesn't work. Should have been minus 20. We'll get a situation that we kind of reference here where it's impossible unless we're considering negative angles. Which exist, but we're not going to worry about it. Okay, we got question number 9. Point P is on the interior of angle JKL. JKL is 63 degrees. JKP is 3 more than the half of the angle PKL. Okay, I'm so going to put PKL as x, and JKP is 3 more than half of x. I have x plus 3 more than half of x has to equal 63 degrees. Now we can add these together, or maybe we can just like leave the x's separate and subtract 3. Maybe we could decide to get rid of the fractions by multiplying everything by 2 if we wanted to. Or we can add a half to 1 to get 1 1/2 or 3 halves. This is 2 halves of an x. This is 1 half of an x, so we have 3 halves of an x. You can also multiply everything by 2 to get 2x plus x equals 120. I like that. That's probably easy to do. Which gives you 3x equals 120, or x equals 40. Or you could solve the equation 3 halves x equals 60 by multiplying by 2 and dividing by 3. 60 times 2 is 120. 120 divided by 3 is 40. So what are the measurements of JKP? JKP is going to be a half of 40 plus 3, so that's 43. And PKL is 40. So that we have 23. So we have 63. Angles DEF and JKL are complementary. Complementary means they add up to be 90 degrees. JKL is 10 more than 3 times DEF. I'm going to call DEF x. JKL is 10 more than 3 times x. So I have 10 more than 4x, which is what we get if we add these together, has to equal 90. 4x has to equal 80. X has to equal 20. JKL must be 70. Supplementary means they add up to 180. ABC is 20 more than 4 times DEF. ABC and DEF are sorry. Question number 11 says, given angle ABC and angle DEF are supplementary, and the measurement of ABC is 20 more than 4 times the measurement of DEF. So ABC is 20 plus 4x. DEF, I'm going to label as x. Adding those together, I have 20 plus 5x has to equal 180. 5x has to equal 160. So I'm going to have 32 for x. And if x is 32, then ABC is 4 times 32 plus 20. So 32, 64, 96. $128 plus 20, 148. And this is 32, 40, 56, 78. Yep. Okay. We have some diagrams. This is where we introduce the concept of like parallel lines cut by a different line, a transverse. And the idea is that all we have is like the same situation as our line cuts through our parallel lines. We have a lot of like essentially a little copy of these intersections. I could like cut out a square and move it down there, and all the angles have to be the same. So if I know this is 65, then this angle down here has got to be 65 as well. If I understand vertical angles have to equal each other, this has to be 65 and this has to be 65. How do we know vertical angles have to equal each other? Well, we know this is 65. This has to be 115 because they add up to equal 180. Well, if that is 115, then that has to be 65. So it works out just by kind of working your way around. In the next picture, we see two parallel lines cut by a transverse, and we see that there are two angles that are in a corresponding location, just like at the different lines. And one is 3x minus 15, and the other is 2x plus 7. Well, those angles have to be equal because they're in a corresponding position. It's like a pasted image. So we will be able to solve the equation 3x minus 15 equals 2x plus 7. I get x equals 22. Now the next situation, we could see that the angles are not corresponding, so I would not set them equal to each other. So what should I do? I have one angle that's 5x plus 20 and kind of what ends up being the supplementary angle, 7x plus 40. Well, we can see that these two angles must add up to equal 180. Cool. And I was just thinking about like, am I missing a type of question that I tried to put into these because I made some of this homework? And we can see that 12x plus 60 equals 180 after combining. That means 12x equals 120. That means x has to equal 10, which means the angles are going to be 5x plus 20, which is 50 plus 20, which is 70, and 110. Great. All right, that's it. Very similar to day one. Day two. Cool. Peace.